Welcome. If you understand the following definition of a human being, that a human being is a biological entity and a living waveform and wave collapser, which was once pure potential, but selected or chose to squeeze itself into bones, breath, and heartbeat of matter. Now it is actively or passively selecting and amplifying and collapsing from infinite possibilities, one or more reality building massless wavelets, and creates a dominant, persistent reality for itself. Only 1% biological secret is hidden in plain sight about how this is done, but it's in plain sight. Our book, No More Masters, where we deal with this and many other matters. You may never ever read a book like this one. There are reasons why we say that, because we deal with the matter of the true, unknowable creator and many other concepts surrounding reality. Own your own copy, get it from Amazon, share the information, and let us walk this journey together. Where is this 1% biological secret for reality altering hidden in plain sight? Is it in church, mosque, temple, synagogue, gurdwara, pagoda, shrine? If yes, where is the proof? What about prayer, fastings, offerings, incense, burning incense, sermons and sacraments? What about all that? We accept that a human is a wave collapser and observer, able to passively or actively alter any reality, and that the places of worship are not the points where we can find this 1% biological secret to do something that is about reality recreation or changing it. But we know that it is hidden in plain sight. We ask once more, which plain sight and where? Let us seriously consider the altar found in many of these religious spheres. Could it be the specific calibrated system or biological secret where that reality is collapsed? A bridge between the field of infinite potential with all possibilities and material reality. Let us not assume to know, because historically and etymologically, the altar is the physical high point, a burning place where intent is concentrated to manifest or to change or to correct an issue. So is it true that the altar is that place? The English word altar has dual meanings. It comes from the Latin and it stems from the word altare, closely related to altus, meaning high, signifying that an altar is a high place physically, that it is elevated upwards or highwards towards the celestial or dimensions above all the mundane. It also means it's a place where burnt offerings are done, and linked to the Latin word adolere, meaning to burn or to worship. This defines the altar as the burning place. In other words, the place where that the reality is now being converted and the waves are converted to the new reality that you want. Very few people understand this, because a lot of people pray and think that sacrificing and all this is the end of the story. Our ancestors in ancient Africa and in modern times, before the arrival of these bastardizing religions, like in the Yoruba, they called Yojubo, and literally translated as the place of worship or the eye of sacrifice. In our Akam terminology, it becomes the localized point where the observer focuses their intent. Pepe, a raised platform, a shelf that is higher, used as an altar, a place of frequency changing. Odo, Shango, a specific mortal-shaped altar used by the deity Shango, symbolizing the grounding of lightning, which is raw celestial energy, into the earth. In the Zulu and this is closer, we know Umsamo. This is the sacred space at the back of a traditional dwelling. It is not just an altar, but the quantum center of the home, where all the energies and the ancestors and the gods and the divinities are housed symbolically, a place for collapsing the family's intent or tribal intent or individual intent into the reality that you want. So the altar is a way of collapsing too, as demonstrated by our African traditions, who treated it more than just a religious structure or a piece of furniture, but they knew that it was a frequency calibration station, and they were fixed and moving altars. In many African traditions, the fixed was either a stone or a tree or a vortex, a place like Matopos or Ziwa. A moving one would be where you dance, you go, you journey, you pilgrimage. And the moving altar collapsed superpositions through your kinetic energy, whether singing and dancing, and the rhythm, which is your frequency. There were also material anchors that were associated with altars like blood, water, and oil, and flowers, and all these sacrifice physical events that anchor the infinite possibilities of the spirit realm into our current lives, like libations and all the stuff that we know. But there are dangers when it comes to altars, because in our calm framework, a grave where a human being is buried is also a very powerful place. In our Chikaranga language, Chikuva or sometimes Huva is a word that means small grave, but it's also a place where we do our sacrifice. It's also the altar. Our sages called it small grave for a reason, because that is where the infinite field, the waters of NyuNyu, and the buried have been squeezed into a singular event by death. And Chikuva represents this mentality. But there is also another aspect where Maati and Isfet play a role on the altar, because the altar is a quantum tuner. The altar is a portal of the waters of NyuNyu, and the waters of NyuNyu contain both good and evil in equal measure, 100%, not 50-50, no, 100%. So this field of infinite potential, when we come to the Chikuva, is neutral. Like the waters of NyuNyu are neutral. So Chikuva will either drain or become a faucet via the intent of the observer or observers. So this neutrality is just like your smartphone or a surgical knife. Chikuva doesn't have a side. It is simply an amplifier of your intent or intents and the frequent tuner of the observer. So either use it for Maat or use it for Isfet, and the boomerang and the word will be all yours. So the grave was a site for resurrection. Just like Chikuva, a small grave implied that something must die, stop being a wave, to rise, to become a physical event. When you place an offering or vibrate Hekau at the Chikuva, you are essentially killing all other possibilities so that only one specific reality can be born. This is the major function of the altar. Same as when you are being born on earth, your divine spark dies, literally leaves the waters of NyuNyu to become the potential you, physical you. So that is what the 1% biological secret hidden in plain sight demonstrates. Now, if we understand this principle that a human is a wave collapser and an observer, at this present moment collapsed in matter, and that an altar represents the specific calibrating site where that collapse occurs, then it is very clear that the bridge between the field of infinite potential and material reality is an altar and also the human body. That is very clear. But this is unrealized by most people, that the human is the living altar. If we apply our definition that the human body is the ultimate high place, altus, because of this, it is the highest concentration of complexity and intent in the non-material field. The bones are the stones of the altar. The breath and your speech are the acoustic vibrations that carries your intent, and your heartbeat, will be the rhythmic pulse that maintains the crisp note of your messaging and your speeches. So you are a living waveform, and you are constantly performing a ritual, whether you know it or not. Whether you think Jesus is in you or not, you yourself, you are the altar. So if you substitute your work to others, your divine spark is dead asleep, and you will eventually fail to superposition yourself, and you will continuously be recycling back in the same realm. So now, can we answer the following questions? Why should we build physical altars? Why should we look for external calibration? How do we transition from building an altar to being the altar? African sages, of course, we know, invented potential and portable mini altars like charms, tere, dumra, talisman, the katas, gris. They built that. The Wejat eye of Oresu, and they knew that the body is the only altar that actually collapses the reality, and therefore they deposited intent and power in these portable mini altars. Now you know these truths. Finally, you know that the altar is your bed, your grounding, that your body is your grounding, is your altar. Do you have a personal altar? How did you build that personal altar? Have you tested it? Does it work? Why? Find out how you can fit everything that we are discussing here nicely with the 1% biological secret hidden in plain sight that billions never know or desire to find out. The scandal is that they've hidden the true altar from billions of people. The spiritual altar is hiding in plain sight, and your hidden power is just floating in front of you. It is said because you have been trained not to know that you carry the true altar, which actually collapses reality of your choice to what you want. It's an all-weather wonders altar working magic and can do stuff for you that you can never really believe. If you want to join the 1% who know this biological secret hidden in plain sight, to live an exciting and a thrilling life, altering your reality at any given time to suit your needs and wants, come and let us learn together and master how we can use these altars together. Enroll today in our ACAM training and Bantu Melanin University, so that you can at least know and experience the truth that the human body is the only altar that actually collapses reality, and also find the reasons why you need an altar. I'm your manager Topi, Preacher Rabbi LM Tumisul Kunikeni Mjaganja, saying till we meet again, remember, you can belong to the 1% who know the biological secret hidden in plain sight about these altars. Subscribe, share, leave a comment, and let us walk this journey together. You can send us an email on this email shown here and visit our website. Thank you. Have a great day. Ameni.